Thanks for the support as a channel member, Christopher Hume. It's become an annual tradition here at Bourne, so today we get started on this year's FA Cup run. And because I'm making a big deal of it, we're probably going to get knocked out in the third round. Hello and welcome to part 96 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have an FA Cup third round tie away against Swansea. And because of the weird way this game has been delayed twice because of other matches, if we win it, we'll then go straight into an FA Cup fourth round tie against, I think it's Coventry we'd get in the fourth round if we get through to Saturday. Otherwise, it'll be the Bourne Derby against Bournemouth. So either way, some exciting football for us all to enjoy. Talking of exciting football, we're on a nice little unbeaten run, although the last three games in the league we haven't been able to win. This game against Everton was okay. Everton was second in, or still are second in the league. Less okay, though, was the fact that they equalised. I thought it was a much later equaliser than that. In my head, that was a late equaliser. Was it this one that had a late goal? There we go. I knew there was a really late goal in one of these games. A 93rd minute goal for Forest there. And we are still top of the league, but we're looking less secure there than we were before. But to be fair, 25 games on, we're still a point clear of Everton with a game in hand. We still have the top scorer in the division, who's now been tied down for a longer term contract. Still only that's as long as he would sign. But valued now up to £9.5 million and still scoring lots of goals. So there's very little we can complain about in the league, and hopefully league form continues to progress nicely. It really needs to, because we are spending money like it's going out of fashion. We started this season with a balance close to £20 million. We're down to less than 8 million now. We need a cup run and we need a promotion, or else we're going to have some serious financial problems when we come into the summer, and we're not going to be in the position to spend multiple £1 million worth of pounds on players next season if we're not in the Premier League. It's promotion or bust. We've known that all season. So, the team for today's game against Swansea. Alan FA Cup Hardy in goal, and hopefully he does what Alan FA Cup Hardy does in the FA Cup, hence his name. By the way, exciting Alan Hardy news. He is now the club's all-time record appearance holder. There is your confirmation. 157 league appearances now for Alan Hardy. Still only 24 years old. We actually had a coach report thing come through about him, saying in order to further his development, he needs regular football at a higher level. So, for the betterment of Alan Hardy's career, we either need to get promoted or sell him to a Premier League club. Obviously, we want to do option one. But yeah, good to see that he is already at such a young age our highest appearance holder, and it's only going to continue because he's our first choice goalkeeper. That's likely to be a situation that remains next season, at least a first season in the Premier League. You would think a 3.5-star goalkeeper in the Championship probably deserves to take the step up and see if he can cut it at the higher level. He's still got potential to improve as well. Alan Hardy is going places, boys and girls. So Hardy in goal. A back four of Riley making a rare appearance, which means we need to switch that back to an ordinary wing back. Where is Congni? I think I've decided that's how we're saying his name. There he is. Congni has a virus, so he's going to be self-isolating for the next couple of weeks. So Congni down on there, which means Riley gets a rare start, enjoying a little bit of FA Cup football. Remember when he was going to be our bright young hope? He is still a 4-star potential ability player, but this is his first appearance of this season, so hopefully we get a performance out of Riley. Cruz, Reed and Lastra making up the rest of the back four. I know what you're thinking. They're both on cover. Why are you doing that, Kev? That seems crazy. I know, but it seems to work. I think it's because one of them is a no-nonsense centre-back covering. It just seems to work. It's been working anyway. If it stops working, we'll switch one of them back to a defending structure. But they both naturally want to cover. And I guess with our fullbacks pushing on as far as they do, they're covering in behind them as well. It seems to work. We've got Hernandez and Arnautovic in midfield. And then Bruce, Gilligan and Ziyech supporting Lahif up front. Let's get into the game. Let's hopefully pick up a win, because you know how much we love an FA Cup run. Not just because it's fun, but because it's the FA Cup run last year that allowed us to assemble the team we've got this year because of the incredible amount of money. We probably made £10 million on that FA Cup run last year. If we can get to the quarterfinals again, for example, that's like £5 million for that, and we're going to concede a goal early on. Oh, Alan, FA Cup Hardy, that's not what you're known for in this tournament. I don't even know what he's trying to do there. It was awful. I've bigged him up too much before the game. This is the worst piece of goalkeeping from Alan Hardy in the FA Cup ever. He's out of position. He's just diving towards nothing. I expect so much more from him in the FA Cup. That's not how we want to go out. Oh God, they've got Hardy as well. That feels like cheating. Show some passion. It's the FA Cup, for goodness sake. I guess, looking on the bright side, if we get knocked out in the third round, it allows us to really concentrate on winning the championship. But it really, really then becomes promotion or literally bust if we get knocked out of the FA Cup this early on. There's nobody here either. You'd think after our FA Cup heroics in recent years, this would be an exciting game for people to come to. Apparently not. Gilligan, with the effort from the edge of the area, just hits it high and wide, and it never really looks like any kind of threat. And now we have another throw through. Riley on the left-hand side finds Gilligan. Bruce playing it back to Riley again, who plays it back forward to Gilligan. Out wide, looking for Zajic, who brings it down beautifully. Lastra looking for the overlap, but couldn't get there. And there's Reed to try and clean up the mess ahead of him. Plays it all the way back to Hardy, who knows he's got to redeem himself now. We need a big performance for the rest of the game from Alan Hardy. Hernandez now spraying it out wide to Zajic. He looked like Vermonti doing that. Zajic with the cross to Bruce, and he could have headed that anywhere else in the world, and it ends up in the back of the net. But he headed it to the one spot where the goalkeeper was standing. Again, I expect more from Bruce. Do these boys not want the FA Cup this year? Are they still burnt from an FA Cup final defeat last year? They don't want to go through the pain of another Wembley trip that doesn't result in a trophy. Half this team have got lovely runners-up medals in their sock drawers. Hernandez missing out on midfield, and it's Swansea hovering on the edge of the area again. Swansea in the Premier League? I get the feeling Swansea might be in the Premier League because I don't remember playing them in the league any time recently. So maybe this isn't that poor of a performance. It's very sad that Hardy is the one who is beating Hardy, and we're getting knocked out in the third round, aren't we? I don't remember the last time this happened. It's been at least 3 years since we didn't have a cup run. Cup runs have been such a huge part of this team. But it seems today it is not to be. We're going to need an enormous performance in the second half to drag us back into this game. We're going to go attacking already, even though it's only the first half. We need to shake things up a bit. 10 minutes of passion. Let's squeeze 10 minutes of passion into the final 5 minutes of this first half. Zajic charging into space. Just score a goal. He doesn't. I mean, Lahif's right there. Just square it to the top scorer in the division, and he has a tap in, but he decides to go it alone. Are Swansea in the Premier League? No, they're below us in the Championship. How? How are they beating us so comfortably? Aggressive? That was absolutely terrible. Yeah. They don't often get an aggressive team talk out of me, but that was pathetic. They're fired up. They're motivated. They want to win in this second half. Why? Why is this happening? The 44 Bourne fans who've travelled to Wales for this game are going to be going home so very disappointed. The FA Cup's been our tournament, and it's just no. This isn't how it was supposed to be. Swansea have ruined my day. And they seem to be enjoying it, which makes it even worse. Riley with the long throw. And there's Zajic to tuck it away. It seems to be a theme of these episodes now that we'll score at least once from a long throw in a video. I feel like it's too little too late, unless that's going to drag us back into the game. And it is, I mean, it's a good throw from Riley. That's made it as far as the goal. What's his long throw stat? 10. I mean, imagine what a 20 looks like if that's a 10. Right. What can we do to mix things up? Bruce is going to come off for Scott. Gilligan is going to come off for Santos. And we're going to go 2 up top. There we go. Don't let it be said we're not trying to stay in the FA Cup. Half an hour to go. We've gone to the classic Bourne 4-2-4, and it looks like Swansea are going down to 10 men. He was booked there. I thought he was getting a second yellow card. Ziyech with the free kick. Come on, mate. We're suddenly starting to look a little bit more alive in this tie. I do think we've probably left it a little bit too late. Lahif's having a terrible game and is apprehensive about it. Maybe he's not a big game player. That's perhaps why he doesn't turn up when the cameras are on. He's like a better version of Pavlov. But maybe he'll score for fun in the smaller matches that don't really matter. The big games, nowhere to be seen. Relishes big matches, apparently. You wouldn't know it from his performance today. I'm going to take him off, and we're going to bring Robinson on. Robinson, we'll just play him up front. We've barely played him up front since he's been here, but that is how we originally signed him last year. He came in to be a striker. We've just played him in attacking midfield the whole time. I don't really know what more we can do to try and squeeze an equaliser even. We'd have to score twice to get it. We have to score twice to get an equaliser. I know how football works. And it's not worked for us today, has it? Cruz, ball over the top. Robinson brings it down beautifully, but can't quite turn and apply the finish. But we have a corner. There's still probably getting on for 10 minutes of this game left when you add the added time on. Robinson with the in-swinging corner, but it's headed clear. And that just kind of summed up our day. Something that's been working quite well for us for quite a long time, for whatever reason, hasn't worked today. We're going to call it Alan Hardy syndrome. Don't worry, this isn't the start of me making him a scapegoat. Probably. Robinson with the corner, and this time it's Reed who's on the far post, and he also misses out on the header. And now Swansea with the counter-attack, and, well, they've not played very well in the second half at all, but it doesn't matter. Passion now. Do something, boys. There's 4 minutes of time added on. We need 2 goals in 4 minutes. We've done it before. We are capable of it. Let's go very attacking. Let's just try and find goals from somewhere. Santos is in. Santos can't find the back of the net. We've had our opportunities. We've had 3 clear-cut chances in this game. The same number Swansea have had. And we just haven't taken our opportunities. And this year's FA Cup fun is over. Well, hopefully we can pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, ready for the Bourne derby. And Arnautovic picked up an injury in that game. He's going to miss the Bournemouth game. We haven't won for 4 games in all competitions now. It's a slightly worrying development when we're massively overperforming this season. And that is the sum total of our FA Cup money this year. 10 million down to 8 grand. This is not looking pretty. Let's go and recover against Bournemouth. I'm responding to the money worries the only way I know how, by going out and spending money. We've just signed a £1.4 million player. In fact, it says 2 million there. I think it was 1.4 million up front. Vukasin Minic, Serbian under-21 international attacking midfielder. It's a position we've been wanting to strengthen. We've now strengthened it. He's almost as good as Robinson, better than Gilligan, better than Train. I know the Casey Grayson fan club is going to be very upset at this signing, but we've done quite well with signing our Eastern European players. Is Serbia Eastern Europe? It's that kind of area over there, the smaller European nations. I'm offending a lot of people here, aren't I? I know what I mean. Is Arnautovic Serbian? I don't remember. Arnautovic is Montenegrin. They're close, aren't they? They're nearby. We've done well. Pavlov. What nationality was Pavlov? I think he was Bosnian. Now I think about it. Bosnian. And Husic was also Bosnian. I feel like all these places are very close together. Aren't these all like former Yugoslavian states who fell out at one point? So should we not talk about that side of things anymore? Either way, we've signed a player called Minic. We're sending him to learn English, and he'll have a lovely time here at Bourne. Well, the Bournemouth game was postponed because they got a replay in the fourth round of the FA Cup. So we've gone 10 games now without any football. 10 games was long enough for Minic, new boy, to get himself injured. So he's not going to be available for this game. So Robinson comes back in attacking midfield. Leonardo and Bruce going to be with him supporting Lahif up front. We also picked up a knock to Hernandez. In fact, it's more of a knock. This is a proper injury to Hernandez. Hernandez is going to be out for a couple of months with a groin strain. So we're going with Arnautovic and Aparecido in midfield. Congney comes back in at left back, meaning we can switch him back to his natural position as complete wing back, which is lovely. And I've decided to abandon the whole two covering centre backs. We all watched the Swansea game. For me to say it works after that, let's put Cruz on a defend instruction just so that I don't know. I was almost tempted to make him a stopper and have him out there crunching people while Reed cleans up his mess. I am favouring these two over Kjalic at the moment, which I know is not like me, but looking at the three of them, they're all 4-star players, and Reed and Cruz are my players. So for once, I'm actually favouring my own players over loans. It's also to do with the fact that as much as I love Kjalic, he's not a loan that fits my normal criteria. Normally, when I really, really, really play a lone player, it's because I'm expecting him to join me permanently at some point. But Tottenham want £38 million for Kjalic. He wants to be paid more than anyone else at the club. We ain't signing him permanently at any point. So, thinking ahead to the Premier League, we're only allowed 2 domestic loans in the Premier League. He's not likely to be one of them. Cruz and Reed really need to form a partnership because they're likely to be our defence when we go up. So, yeah, actually planning for the future. I feel dirty. Thinking about things in this kind of detail. Right, we need to give a squad number to another youngster and hopefully pick up a victory in this game. That Swansea game stung me a lot. I'm glad we've had 10 days to recover. I almost took us on a warm weather camp, but never done one before, and I don't know what impact it has. If it were me going on a warm weather camp, I'd come back all relaxed and not want to play in the next game. I don't think it's the way to reward getting knocked out of the FA Cup in the third round. What I do want to say is we have a chance to move top here. I expect you to deliver. So we're not top of the league currently. 2 games in hand on Everton now. Swansea, of course, breathing down our necks as well. We need to get ourselves back to winning ways and quick, or else we're going to find ourselves drifting out of this automatic promotion setup and being that team that falls into the playoffs because they fell. Oh, what a goal from Leonardo. Forget everything I'm just saying. We need to watch this goal from the other angle and drop any negativity because that was super. Arnautovic playing it across to him. In fact, playing it across to Cruz. Cruz then lumps it across to Robinson. It falls to Leonardo, who just there's not been any backlift on his foot there. He's just stuck that top corner. And in fact, it's 3 games in hand we have on Everton, because even after this game, we still have 2 games in hand remaining. We're looking a lot stronger in the position we're in than I thought we were. Being top of the league, level on points with 2 games in hand at this stage, that is a very strong position. And as long as we can win this game, I don't know, Bristol City are mid-table, in fact, almost relegation fodder. It's a game we should be able to win. We can be feeling a lot more confident if we come out of this with a positive result. Still a long way to go in this game, though, so let's not get ahead of myself, eh? And here's Bruce on the left-hand side. We've turned down a number of offers from Sheffield Wednesday for Bruce. They seem to really, really want him, but they're only offering like £300,000-400,000. He is out of contract in the summer. I think he probably will get a new contract. Leonardo's just drawn a penalty. Leonardo's turned up and is having a good day today. Lahif to step up and make us 2-0 after 15 minutes. Can he do it? Of course he can. 2-0. Lahif with his 22nd goal of the season. That might be his first goal since his big new contract that he only signed relatively recently. And it did sort of slow his goals down a little bit. We don't need to see a penalty replay. But 2-0 up this early in the game. And I'm starting to feel good again. That 10 days off did us the world of good. We had a lot of games in December and we did quite well in them until we just ran out of steam. Everton have gone back above us, the turds. So we won't be top of the league with 2 games in hand. We'll be 2 points behind with 2 games in hand. I mean, that's still not the worst position to be in. I'd rather have the position than the games in hand, though. Always. Lahiv's in here. Surely he makes it 3. He does. A 23rd goal of the season now for him. It's a lovely assist for Jake Bruce, who, getting back to the Jake Bruce story, he's out of contract at the end of the season. I don't really want to throw a big new contract at him because I'm not sure he's going to be a Premier League player. So if we're going to go up, I might let him go. But then on the flip side of that, I guess, if we're being offered £300,000 and £400,000 for him now, when he's got 6 months of his contract remaining, I guess we could offer him another contract now. And then if we do go up and decide he's not a Premier League player, we could probably sell him to a Championship club for a couple of million in the summer. So maybe we do offer him a new deal, and I need to stop dragging my feet on it, because he's one of those players who's never let us down. He's been a very solid player for as long as he's been here. But I suspect that's maybe all he is, a solid Championship player who, I mean, it might be that he's a nice squad man to have around for a first season in the Premier League, but he's never going to be like playing 3 or 4 seasons in the Premier League. Not a chance. And that's what we're kind of thinking ahead and looking at now. Right, Aragonesis is going to come on. Our usual slight tweak to the system when we bring him on as well. We're also going to bring on Kjalic, who does partner with Reed better because he naturally wants to be that stopper, so allows Reed to then float around behind him. I would imagine if we were playing our best centre-back combination, it's Kjalic plus one of the other two on cover. But like I say, I'm trying to form a partnership out of 2 defenders who maybe should... I would imagine the best thing would be a back 3 with the defenders that we've got. We've got 2 very attacking wing-backs as well. But we're enjoying our wingers. I mean, you've seen the performance of Leonardo today. I'm not desperate to be switching to a back 3 anytime soon. It is a consideration for if we're in the Premier League, though. A back 3 with the 3 good defenders that we've got, and maybe bringing in another more experienced Premier League defender to complement them and help with their development. I think that could be something that worked as a trying to stay in the Premier League system. But I'm mad. If Everton heard us talking like this now, I'm doing their team talks for them. I'm glad no one can hear me. This is just my internal ponderings. And that's another good pass from Bruce. Finds Leonardo, skips past his man. Leonardo skips past another man, cuts it back to Lahiv, and there's his hat-trick. And Lahiv's going to get all the headlines after picking up a hat-trick. But this has been a close to perfect performance as a winger from David Leonardo, because he's showing you everything he's got today. He's a goal scorer. He's a good passer. He's a good runner. He can pick a cross out. Find me a more perfect example of a good game as a winger. If that boy could just lose his injury problems, we'd have a real top quality player on our hands. Right, we're going to take Robinson off and we're going to bring Santos on again. I'm making this change more and more often, trying to get my value out of my £2.5 million that I spent on Santos. I think he will come good. We've obviously got Amlang knocking around as well as a young striker. For goodness sake. Every time he has a good game, he ends it with an injury. I'll just leave things like that. We're not going to concede 4 goals. No matter what formation we play, we're not conceding 4 goals in the last couple of minutes. So frustrating with Leonardo. I'm convinced it's the only thing stopping him being a Premier League player. Which, I mean, things like that happen. He's brilliantly talented, but constantly picking up injuries. And now he's out for 6 weeks. So annoying. Right, we will be back on Sunday. Obviously, remember, people still ask me every Saturday, Kev, where's the Bourne video? Never on Saturdays. We'll be back on Sunday with something around here, probably. How long until the end of the season? Obviously, with no FA Cup run. I'm looking at the games we've got remaining. What have we got? Like 20 games left. So we're probably going to get 3 episodes out of this run-in. So we'll probably be back somewhere around here. And then, my goodness, have you seen those final 2 games of the season? I hadn't noticed them. Our final 2 games are Everton and Swansea. That is going to be some exciting football. It's like Sky did the fixture lists. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.